Hi, my name's Ben Stapleton and I'm the branch manager of the Nottingham site for Europa Worldwide.
And I'm Priyank. I work in sales and I represent Europa in our Nottingham sales branch.
In the world of logistics, what is sales?
I'd say sales in the world of logistics can be different depending on which sector you're working in. For me personally, representing Europa's road logistics, my job is to represent our services and reach out to businesses that could potentially use our services if they're moving goods to or from Europe or around the UK. And it's reaching out to understand what the business requirements are and offering solutions that would meet their requirements. Ben, give us an overview of your career up until this point.
Okay, so I didn't go to university, so I applied for an apprenticeship when I was 18. Fell into the industry by chance, really. Did a 2-year apprenticeship, then become an account manager, which is what you do now. Then progressed to senior account manager, assistant branch manager, and now branch manager of Europa. So that's just shy of an 8-year overview on my career. Give us an overview on your career up to this point.
So personally, I've got a variety of sales experience from when I sort of went into the sales industry. I started off predominantly selling mobile phone contracts, and then I've also sold legal services for estate planning. I then went into the logistics industry with the scope of finding something that gives me more longevity and more progression opportunities. I've now been in the industry for 3 years. I've been an account manager at Europa for 14 months, and I'm currently doing really well in my role.
Can you give me a brief snapshot on your weekly and monthly tasks at the moment?
We have to break it down in terms of monthly and weekly. Just an example, monthly I'm targeted on doing 12 appointments, which means that throughout my week I have to be calling customers, prospecting to understand their requirements, and if and when necessary I'd be arranging appointments to go and see them face to face, to talk about our services and understand the business in more detail. I'll be contacting and speaking to customers by email, and just managing the day-to-day tasks and requirements of businesses, quotes, bookings, and general queries that I'll be handling. Ben, do you need to be an extrovert to achieve success in sales?
I don't necessarily think so. I think at the moment we've got an office of about 10 people. Not all of the people in that office are extroverts. I think there's so many different departments to sales as a whole. If you're customer face-to-face selling, if you're doing meetings, presentations, I think you do have to be slightly extroverted than introverted. But then again, the sales-related role which we offer at Europa, some roles are more behind the computer, selling over the phone, doing administrating tasks that someone like yourself wouldn't do who's more customer selling. So no, I don't think you do have to be extroverted throughout the board in sales.
Ben, what would you say is something that you do in your role that people might be surprised by?
I think the surprise comes every day when you log on and it's something different. Log on at 8:30 in the morning and it's always something different. I think sometimes people expect the industry sales to just be the same repetitive thing every single day, but it's definitely not. It's something that gets different tasks thrown at you every single day. Mm-hmm. Okay, Priyank, what are the hardest challenges you've faced in your career to date?
There's a mix of challenges that sort of come with the role, which keeps it exciting. For me, one of the moments that I can recall, as an example, I went out and had a meeting with a customer, with a potential prospect, where I was due to meet one person, but I ended up having to plug in my laptop and present our services to 5 directors, which came unexpectedly. And what I learned from that is sometimes you just got to understand the meeting agenda better before you go out so that you can prepare and be ready for sort of what they expect from you. What is a highlight you can tell us about your career from to date?
Okay, I think I've touched briefly on the progression that I've made the last 8 years in the industry, but really the highlight of my career to date is landing the branch manager role in Nottingham is what I do now. Mm-hmm. I think I've always wanted to thrive in a role where I'm managing a team of people who are all succeeding under myself, and that's currently obviously being done.
Mm-hmm. Ben, what is the favourite part of your current role?
I think it's working really closely with a team of people and seeing them succeed. I think the reason that I wanted the branch manager opportunity is to help individuals and see their progression throughout the business. What would you say your highlight is?
For me personally, so in a sales environment, it's very competitive. I mean, when Adrian sends out our RAM league tables and shows how we're sort of doing in terms of the RAM scheme and how we're doing at the moment, I get a real satisfaction out of seeing my name in green to say that I've hit my targets for the month and I'm sort of in the right path, which gives me a real sense of reward.
What's your favourite part of the role?
I personally really enjoy picking up the phone and ringing businesses to try and establish who it is I need to make contact with to discuss logistics. I find it quite challenging but also very rewarding at the same time.
Okay, and what sort of training did you receive when you got onboarded for the role you do now?
So initially, when I joined the logistics industry, there was very in-depth training courses that we went through, but the majority of it, I would say, is very on-the-go learning. A lot of people said to me when I first started, it's make mistakes and you learn from them, which I think is very true. And the more time you spend in the industry, the more you learn. I'd also say it's an industry that's always changing and always evolving. So even when you get to a point where you feel like you know it all, there's a good chance it will probably change. So you're always learning the longer you stay in the industry. What do you see yourself doing in your career over the next few years?
It's a difficult question because I don't think you ever know in this industry. It's forever changing. I think from a salesperson's perspective, it is just being successful, hitting targets every single month and progressing into something. Financially, as a salesperson as well, you simply just want to earn more money year on year. Mm-hmm. What changes would you make to the world of sales?
Personally, Ben, I don't think I'd change anything. I love the sales industry and I love what my job entails at the moment. I mean, if I was being nitpicking, then one of the things I would say is I'd like it to be a lot easier for me to get through to decision makers. Mm-hmm. But that being said, when you get through to a decision maker that has been challenging to get hold of, it's definitely more rewarding. And from an account manager perspective, I also know if it's been challenging to onboard a particular business, it's also going to be a challenge for other competitors who are looking to onboard that work. So personally, I wouldn't change anything about the industry. I absolutely love it.